They're everywhere this time of year. Glowing faces, carved smiles, flickering eyes staring out from porches across America. We call them jack-o'-lanterns. But here's what most people don't know. That pumpkin sitting on your doorstep? It's not just a Halloween decoration, it's a warning. A symbol of a man so terrible, so cunning, that even the devil himself refused to claim his soul. His name was Stingy Jack. And tonight you're going to hear his story. The real story behind the tradition that has haunted October nights for centuries. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with your favorite spooky topic. Your suggestion might just become our next video. Ireland in the 1700s wasn't the romantic green paradise you see in postcards. Life was hard, brutal even. Villages were small, tight-knit communities where everyone knew everyone's business. And in one such village, there lived a man whose reputation preceded him like a bad smell. His name was Jack, but nobody called him that. They called him Stingy Jack. The nickname wasn't affectionate. Jack was a blacksmith by trade, but that's about the only respectable thing you could say about him. He was a drunk, a liar, a manipulator who'd steal the coins from a blind beggar and then brag about it at the pub. He'd borrow money and never pay it back. He'd promise work and vanish. The kind of man who made you check your pockets after shaking his hand. But Jack had one redeeming quality, if you could call it that. He was clever, dangerously clever. The kind of clever that gets you out of trouble just long enough to create more. He could talk his way out of anything, spin a lie so convincing you'd thank him for deceiving you. And this gift of manipulation? It would eventually lead him to an encounter that would echo through centuries. The stories say it happened on a cold October night. Jack was stumbling home from the tavern as usual, pockets empty, head full of whiskey. The road was dark. No moon. Just the sound of his boots on dirt and his own drunken humming. That's when he felt it. A presence. A coldness that had nothing to do with the weather. He turned around, and there, standing in the middle of the road, was a figure cloaked in shadow. But Jack, drunk as he was, could see the eyes. Red. Burning. Ancient. The devil had come to collect his soul. Now most men would have fallen to their knees, begged for mercy, promised to change their ways. But Jack smiled, because even facing eternal damnation, his mind was already working through angles, searching for the con. "So you've come for me then?" Jack said, his voice steadier than it should have been. "Fair enough, I've lived a wicked life. But before you take me, grant me one last request, one final drink. Surely even the devil can respect a condemned man's last wish." The devil considered this. After all, what difference would a few more minutes make? The soul was already his. So he agreed, and together they walked to the nearest tavern. Jack ordered the finest whiskey they had, drank slowly, savoring each drop like it was liquid gold. When the glasses were empty, Jack turned to the devil with a sheepish grin. "There's just one small problem," Jack said. "I don't have any money to pay for the drinks." The devil laughed, a sound like grinding stone. "You expect me to pay?" "Well," Jack said, leaning in conspiratorially, "you can do anything, can't you? You could transform yourself into a coin. 6 pence ought to cover it. I'll pay the bartender. We'll step outside and then you can change back. Simple." It was such a small request, so trivial. And the devil, perhaps amused by Jack's audacity, agreed. In a flash of sulfur, he transformed into a shiny silver coin. Jack snatched it up immediately and shoved it into his pocket. The pocket where he kept his silver cross. The moment the devil touched that cross, he was trapped, powerless. And from inside that pocket, Jack could hear the muffled screaming, the curses, the threats. But Jack just smiled and patted his pocket. "Here's my offer," Jack said calmly. "You leave me alone for 1 year, 1 year of peace, and I'll let you go." The devil had no choice. He agreed. Jack pulled the coin from his pocket, and in a rage of fire and smoke, the devil vanished into the night. A year passed. Jack didn't change. If anything, he got worse. He drank more, stole more, lied more. He knew his time was borrowed, but he didn't care. And then, exactly 1 year later, the devil returned. This time, he wasn't offering any deals. But Jack, Ever the con artist had one more trick up his sleeve. "You've got me," Jack admitted, hands raised in surrender. "But before we go, could you do me one small favor? You see that apple tree over there? I'd love one last taste of fresh fruit before I'm dragged to hell for eternity. Would you climb up and get me one?" The devil, perhaps overconfident, perhaps just eager to get this over with, climbed the tree. The moment he was up in the branches, Jack pulled out his knife and carved a cross into the trunk. Once again, the devil was trapped, unable to climb down, unable to escape. "Let me down," the devil roared. "Only if you promise," Jack said, "never to claim my soul. Ever. You leave me alone for the rest of my days, and for all eternity after." What choice did the devil have, trapped in a tree by a cross, outsmarted twice by a drunken Irish blacksmith? He agreed. Jack carved away the cross, and the devil vanished, vowing never to return. Years later, Jack died. As wicked as he'd lived, his body gave out. His soul rose from his corpse and traveled to the gates of heaven. But St. Peter took one look at his life and shook his head. No entry. So Jack turned and walked the other direction, down to the gates of hell. But the devil was there waiting. "You tricked me twice," the devil said. "I made a promise. I will not take your soul. You are not welcome here." "Then where do I go?" Jack asked. "Back to where you came from," the devil replied. And he tossed Jack a single burning coal from the fires of hell to light his way through the eternal darkness. Jack carved out a turnip, placed the coal inside, and began to wander, stuck between heaven and hell. Forever. The Irish began calling his ghost Jack of the Lantern. Eventually, just Jack-o'-lantern. And when Irish immigrants came to America, they found pumpkins far easier to carve than turnips. The tradition transformed, but the warning remained. That light in your window? It's not decoration. It's meant to keep Jack away. Because somewhere out there, he's still wandering. So there you have it. The next time you see a jack-o'-lantern glowing on someone's porch, you'll know it's not just a fun Halloween tradition. It's a story that traveled across oceans, survived centuries, and transformed from a hollowed-out turnip in Ireland to the pumpkins we carve today. It's a reminder of a man so clever he outwitted the devil himself, and so wicked that even hell wouldn't have him. Stingy Jack's story is more than folklore. It's a warning wrapped in tradition. A tale that asks us to consider the consequences of our choices. Because Jack got what he wanted, he escaped damnation, but at what cost? An eternity of wandering, no rest, no peace, forever stuck between two worlds, carrying nothing but a flame that will never go out and never warm him. That's the real horror behind the jack-o'-lantern. Not monsters or ghosts, but the idea of being lost forever, rejected by both salvation and damnation, wandering alone in the darkness with nothing but your own guilt and a dying light. And maybe that's why the tradition has lasted so long, because deep down we all understand that fear. The fear of being alone, of being rejected, of facing the consequences of who we've been. So when you carve your pumpkin this year, remember Jack. Let that flickering candle be a reminder not just to keep the spirits away, but to live in a way that when your time comes, you won't be left wandering in the dark. If this story gave you chills, or if you learned something new about the origins of Halloween traditions, go ahead and hit that like button. And seriously, subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more stories like this. Legends, mysteries, and the dark histories behind the things we take for granted. Drop a comment below with your favorite spooky topic or folklore story. What do you want us to explore next? Haunted locations? Urban legends? The origins of other Halloween traditions? Your idea could be our next video. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your jack-o'-lanterns lit. You never know who might be wandering past your door. Stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.